reconciling humanity to the source. Stay blessed. Coda TV, reconciling humanity to the source. Stay blessed. Hi viewers in Australia. Stick there, stay tight. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. Put in your comments, send in your questions if you have any. Stay blessed. Brother Eric, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Eric and I work with Makano Vision. Makano Vision is a non-for-profit organization aimed at helping communities, migrants, newly arrived migrants, refugees, asylum seekers. And today we're going to talk about your right at work. So as a community educator, and this training was given to us by the Migrant Employment Legal Service, Train the Trainer program, and have given us a lot of information which is very helpful for the community. And that's why we are coming your way today to give you this information regarding your rights at work. So to begin, I would like to acknowledge the country on which we are and the land that has given us a place to stay. And so we acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land on which we meet today and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And for the purposes of this presentation, we're going to be looking at the National Employment Standards, what the National Employment Standard is saying, and the types of workers, and then what kind of worker you are, pay and entitlements, rights when your job ends, unfair treatment at work, and workplace health and safety.
Wow. So these are the various areas where you are going to be taking us through. So, I don't think I have anything else to say. We just have to give Brother Eric the floor to start talking to us where the information is going. Yeah, brother, so let's hear you.
To begin, I need to make this disclaimer. It's a disclaimer. I'm not a legal professional, and therefore whatever information I'm giving you is purely legal information. It's not legal advice. But at the end of it, I will show you where you can go and seek legal advice should any of these issues pertain to you. And if you have a problem with your job, you need to seek legal help from a lawyer, a community legal service, from the union, or other services. I have all this information. I can show you, I can help you how to get legal help. And if we use any words or terms you are not familiar with, yes, you can ask at any time. So we're looking at the National Employment Standards. And when we say the National Employment Standard, what does this mean? So all employees, when I say employees, workers, no matter what kind of work you are doing, you are protected by employment laws. And these laws form like they are in a system, the Fair Work system, which sets the national employment standards. So what rules, what principles apply to you as a worker, and particularly as a migrant who is working in Australia? What are the rules? What are the principles? What should you know? Now, employees may have the right to, one, a maximum of 38 hours of work per week. 38 hours of work per week. You may also have the right to request flexible working arrangement. These are your rights. You have the right to different types of leave. And when I say different type of leave, it includes parental leave, compassionate leave, annual leave, personal leave, community service leave, long service leave, public holidays. These are type of leave that as a worker, whether you are a migrant, the truth is that no matter what work you are doing and no matter your visa status, everybody working in Australia, whether you are a citizen, a permanent resident, you are on a temporary visa, the rights or employment rights are the same to all kinds of workers in Australia. This is some information you need to take. You also have the right to notice of termination and redundancy pay. These are things you need to know, no matter the kind of work you are doing.
Wow. So it's actually letting us understand that the fact that you are on a temporary visa doesn't mean that the treatment you get at your workplace should be different from someone who is a citizen or someone who has maybe a permanent visa. Is that what you're saying?
Very well. The government of Australia is very generous. So as long as you are on the land in Australia, employment law applies to everybody equally without any discrimination.
Wow.
So if you have a temporary visa, whether you are a student visa holder or you are a permanent resident, the laws at work is the same. So every worker in Australia should be treated equally. There is no discrimination.
Wow. So if someone has fallen victim to some of these workplace selective justice and stuff like that, like not being treated fairly just as every other person, before, I know you're going to get there, but maybe someone is just going to go off, someone's going to travel right now, we're going to move away from this camera, this video right now for certain responsibilities. What should the person do?
So you need to seek help.
From who?
There are free lawyers, and especially with the Marrickville Migrant Employment Legal Service, who are ready without any charge. It's free. Every service they provide is free. It is confidential. Maybe you are afraid that maybe I go and talk to them about how I'm treated at work, or maybe I'm being exploited, I'm going to be fined and sacked.
Yeah.
No. The information you give them, they're going to treat it confidential. It is free, and they are there to help. So I would like you to reach out. Reach out. Don't say, I'm a temporary visa holder, or I'm a student, or maybe I will be sacked from work. No. The laws, employment law, protect you should you speak out. So reach out and then get help.
Wow. All right, then. So you can go on.
So to continue, we're looking at types of workers. What are the types of workers? Maybe you are at work. So are you a permanent employee, a casual employee, or you are an independent contractor? And there are differences to each of these workers. If you are a permanent employee, you could be a full-time, a part-time. What are you? And there are differences. So when we talk of these differences, they are based on your weekly working hours. How many hours do I have to work? So, and these are based on the type of work, the type of worker you are. So if you are a full-time worker, then within the week you are entitled to working usually 38 hours.
Yeah.
If you are a part-time worker, your work hours may be less than 38 hours. And if you are a casual worker, then it may be irregular. You can work when your employer
has something to do for you to do.
Has time for you or has shift for you. So with you, yours may not be as regular and may not be as the full-time worker or a part-time worker. And then again, based on leaves that you may be entitled to. So if you are a full-time worker, you are entitled to a paid sick leave. That is when you are sick, and you don't go to work.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be paid.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you are a full-time worker. Your contract states that within the week I have 38 hours. And because being sick is an emergency, it's not your fault. So you are entitled to a paid sick leave. A part-time worker also is entitled to a paid sick leave.
Okay.
This is with permanent employees. But if you are a casual worker, you are not entitled to paid sick leave.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you may also be entitled to a paid annual leave for full-time and part-time.
Part-time.
But if you are casual, you are not entitled to leave.
Yeah.
And you know, the National Employment Standards have factored these, these are like entitlements as you work.
Yeah.
They are entitlements. So if you are a casual worker, your entitlement has been increased. So the money you have to be receiving that is when we talk of the minimum wage, has been increased per hour than a full-time or a part-time worker.
Okay.
But to make up for these benefits.
All right.
So, beginning from the 1st July, the national minimum wage, okay, when you are 21 years and above, is 20.33 cents.
Okay.
$20.33. So for a full time, that is the minimum wage. That does not mean that it differs from job to job. But for you to know that you are not underpaid, that is the amount a full time worker is supposed to get.
Ooh.
A minimum. That is minimum.
Wow.
So every full-time worker in Australia, no matter your visa status, is supposed to be getting 20.33. And then these differ based on the kind of job you do.
Okay.
And so a part-timer is also entitled to that. And these rates are from the 1st of July 2021.
Okay, better, because I was gonna say, has it started already or it's yet to start? So if it is about to start, then I understand.
So that's from the 1st of July 2021.
So it means almost everyone is gonna get a new contract.
Yes.
Or will it just slip into the new way?
Automatically, it's updated every year. Every financial year is updated.
So what I mean is, are people going to be signing new contracts because there are going to be new changes in the contracts they've already signed, or it's just going to roll over into the new wages?
You know what actually happens is that employers every year are able to revise the contract, revise workers' salary, workers' wages, and sometimes automatically the system is set in that way, because every year these standards keep changing. And so if you are a casual, then your per hourly rate, that's the minimum, we call it national minimum wage. That is what you are supposed to be getting based on the kind of work you are getting. The minimum. It means you may get more than that. You may be paid more.
Yeah, but the problem is when you see that you are getting less
than that,
you need to talk to your management and see if
there may be something happening, and that there may be underpayment, and that's where you need to speak to a lawyer, okay, who may be able to find out what is happening, and then you may be able to be helped if there is an exploitation going on or there is underpayment. Then again, the difference between this full-time, part-time, and casual based on notice of termination. If you are a full-time worker or a part-time worker, you have to be given a notice of termination. You have to be given a notice of termination.
Before you go to that, how about if, even though they said this is the rate from July, but then a company says, all right, even though this is the rate from the government, we can only afford to give you $18, even though the law says it should be 21. And then you say, all right, I agree to it, I signed to it. So can we say that if you decide to consent to anything less than that, then the employer is not at fault, or it must be 21?
You know, the law is such that it protects the employee. So whether you go and sign as an employee, the law protects you, because the employer need to know what the minimum standard is.
So he must meet it.
He must be. And that is why you have to speak out. Who knows? You may be able to have help. So in Australia, whether the employee go and sign, I agree to be paid maybe $12 per hour, $13 per hour, maybe, you signed it, yes, but
it's still against the law.
It's against the law.
So can we say in that case, at that point, both of you are against?
No, the employee. That is not illegal for the employee.
Okay.
It may be illegal for the employer.
Okay.
But your inability to speak out will mean that you may be exploited and nobody will get to know about it. And that is why the government of Australia will want migrant workers to come out, speak out. If you feel, seek information to know if you feel like, okay, I'm being exploited or I'm being underpaid.
Okay.
So, continuing, there are two types of workers: an employee and an independent contractor.